Losing my energy levels to Parkinson's disease at the time was a very slow and gradual process. It was also a big mystery because we had no idea what was going on. At the time the energy drain began, I hadn't been diagnosed, so everyone was like, "What the heck is going on with Dave?" Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you'll consider subscribing. Everyone else, thank you for your continued love and support. This is the 5th installment in our new series of Dave, what has changed in your Parkinson's treatment plan? When we get near the end of the video, I'll put a link up somewhere around here so you can jump over to the previous episode and you can watch all the episodes in order if you so desire. I just ask you to remember, I'm just a person with Parkinson's disease, passing along this information as best I can. I'm not a doctor, and I don't suggest that everyone adopt everything I do, because I do a lot of self-experimentation, so what might be right for me may not be right for you. Okay, we have a lot of exciting information to get to, so let's get right to it. My last full-time career was as a part owner of an overhead door company, which is quite a physical job and sometimes it can be quite dangerous. I always had to be on my game, alert and ready for anything. A great part about the job was that I would often get to drive one of my kids to after-hour service calls or on the weekends, so I got to spend some time with them. And I would always try and pick routine or easy jobs to go to, so it wouldn't be too involved. But sometimes they were involved, and when my kids were there, I would have to be creative in my solutions because I'm on my own. I'm on a job site. The door's got to be fixed now. It might be a big hotel. They need the door working right away for security and for the weekend. And, I might need to get a little creative. Creative means slightly dangerous. So when things like that would happen, I'd be like, it would always turn into the conversation on the ride home. Don't tell your mother what I just did. We can joke about that now, but at the time it was serious. It's fun to recount those memories because, I got all my fingers and toes still. So, hey, sometimes you got to cowboy up and make a decision in life, and sometimes you got to get things done. You just got to get things done. As the energy drain developed and my career began to come to a close, I realized that those creative solutions were taking twice as long or longer to accomplish. And I'm like, I'm aging out of my career in my early 40s. Crazy. Parkinson's began to insert itself into my life. And when it starts pushing at you, you really begin to feel it. I had bradykinesia develop. I had stiffness, rigidity, slowness of movements, chronic fatigue developing. My strength was decreasing. Everyone kind of knew me as a strong guy. But things were getting heavier at work. I started to have problems carrying things. And with the chronic fatigue, I would often get home, have dinner, and go straight to bed. It was a really strange time. Somewhere along the line, finally came May 2017 when I got my diagnosis, and everything began to make sense. I got my prescription for my little yellow and pink pills, and I had a brief resurgence of energy, but it was only temporary. It was just because now I had the medication, I felt better, but the symptoms were still happening. The fatigue came back. I really began to feel desperate because as much as I loved my bed and my couch, I was getting sick of being on them all the time. This video is brought to you by our sponsor, Rouge Care Canada, an important figure in the production of cellular energy with their red light therapy panels. One area of concern with Parkinson's disease are broken and malfunctioning mitochondria. And mitochondria are very important. They are the powerhouses of our cell. It's where a lot of our energy gets produced. How does red light therapy help that process? Red light produces a biochemical effect in our cells that strengthen the mitochondria. It's where you find adenosine triphosphate when it's ready to give you energy, or adenosine diphosphate when it needs to be replenished with energy. With more energy, cells can function better, rejuvenate themselves, and repair damage. And Rouge Care Canada is standing by with the help that we need. They are a great company, and I've enjoyed working with them tremendously. I've had my Rouge Care Canada Generation 3 panel for nearly 2 years, and I use it every day, every morning and every night. It has made a massive difference in my energy levels. And there's a custom link in the description below that will take you to the Rouge Care Canada site, and you can use all their promotion codes We just ask if you're ready to order, use that custom link, and you will be able to support Life with Parkinson's indirectly, and we really appreciate that. If you'd told me at the time of my Parkinson's diagnosis that I would be making YouTube videos to help educate my audience on the benefits of mitochondria and ATP, I would have been like, ha 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 ha. You've got to be kidding. Mito what? ATP, it sounds like the tennis pro tour. But when you have your energy levels just stolen from you, where's my energy? Where's my precious? They stole that from us. Okay, Gollum, just relax. We're going to get our energy back. Okay, I love the Lord of the Rings. I'm a total Lord of the Rings fan, if you can tell. So on getting our energy levels back, I have good news for you, and I have bad news for you. It has taken many months to get where I am, and it takes maintenance to keep me here. If I slip just a little bit, I start to go backwards. So I always have to be on top of things. I always have to be working. I always have to be fighting back. Because you know what? I want to get up. I want to do things. I want to get out of the bed. I want to get off the couch and get outside and have some fun. The thing about the mitochondria, they're not just in our brain. They're in our entire body. And if you want to know how many we have, it's a pretty big number, but just to give you an idea, one single cell in our heart contains approximately 5,000 mitochondria. Just one cell of our heart, 5,000 mitochondria. There are a lot of them in our bodies. So there is a lot to manage, a lot to take control. And you can see that if you get everything rejuvenated, the energy process can happen. There are also resources in the description below if you want to look up mitochondria and how to manage them on your own and do a little bit more research. I highly recommend it. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is basically part of the mitochondrial cycle. And I don't want to make it sound confusing, so I'm just going to break it down into really simple terms. I really think of this whole process like a beaver dam. Okay, so you find a beaver dam on a creek, and it's just a small one, so the beavers just made a small little pool of water. If you release that dam, there's not going to be much energy stored there. Right? You're going to burn out really quickly. But let's say the beavers built a big one like the Beaver Dam, and there's just like miles and miles of water behind it. You release that dam, and you've got like endless energy. So that's how I look at ATP, right? If we only have a little bit stored up in our body, and our delivery system's not working, like all the mitochondria aren't getting the phosphate they need, then there's not going to be much water flowing out of there. There's not much stored energy. So we need a big system to maintain ourselves because, you know, Parkinson's drains a lot of energy out of us. The symptoms are very draining. So we need good resources. And we can increase the size of our dam. And the best way I've found to do that is to do something that just drains all of our energy off. And when we just drain all our energy, it forces our bodies to manufacture new mitochondria. And that's what we want. We want that delivery system bigger. We want that reservoir bigger. We want to be able to do more things. It's really exciting. And I found that with the fast walking. On my website, I have a blog about fast walking and GDNF. So I'm trying to build up the mitochondria by doing the fast walking in the morning, as well as the GDNF. So when I started, I could barely do like 1 or 2 kilometers. But now, I started in August of last year. But now, like 6-8 months later, I'm able to do like 6 kilometers in the morning. So there is progress. There is proof that you can create more energy. And in the description below, there is a link to that blog. I need to do a big update. I haven't done one for a little while, but I've got everything stored on my phone. I'll update it as soon as possible. But I just want to say there is hope. It did work for me, so I'm encouraged that, hey, not everybody's the same, but it might work for some people out there as well. Something that made a big impact on me, this is pretty big actually, is the food that we eat. So I've been, as you know from an earlier video, I've really dramatically changed my diet. Sometimes I just want to eat out just for a change, and so my wife Haley and I, we ordered pizza. And of course I got a vegetarian, gluten-free pizza, but it didn't have the usual veggies on there, and it was just like a rice flour crust. And so the next day when I went for my walk, I'm just like, oh, I don't have the energy. I wasn't able to do my 6 laps. I only did like 3. And I was exhausted. It took a long time to recharge. So that to me was like some direct proof of that. What I'm doing is working, because as soon as I changed my diet, my body's like, no, you're not feeding us. You're not feeding us enough nitric oxide. You definitely want to eat foods high in nitric oxide, because that's what gives your body the phosphates it needs. Okay, so that's how I've recharged a lot of my energy, basically through the mitochondria, the ATP, and the walking. So now there should be a link up here to the previous video in this playlist. I encourage you to hop over there when you're done here. Thank you for continuing to take this journey together. Thank you for liking, watching, subscribing, and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please leave a question or a comment below. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye.